Hey, we'd like to welcome you, Trademygun, here to our indoor arena in Northeast Indiana. Tournament size, 30-foot ceilings, turf, something that anybody local around here is familiar with. We call it the paintballplex, but it's Trademygun headquarters. We're doing a little test here on the LUXE ice, and we're just going to do a shooting test, and we're going to show you, the differences between the LUXE ice, the LUXE OLED, the RSX shocker, the CS1, and the M2. So we'll just do a little testing so you can see the shot-to-shot variation, and also we're going to measure some sound levels and let you guys take a look firsthand at how the LUXE ice operates and how it compares with some of its predecessor, the LUXE OLED, and its baby brother, the RSX shocker, and then a couple of the guns that are in direct competition with the LUXE ice, the CS1 and the M2. So let's get started. Okay, so here we have the LUXE ice starting off first, and we'll go ahead and shoot some shots. You'll be able to see the chrono here, do a couple clearing shots here. All right, let's run it, Tyler.
284, 285, 284, 291. Super consistent out of the box to start with for a brand new gun.
We're running about 75 decibels on this gun, running a string of shots. And we're going to just do a little comparison. You can see the tight pattern that we've got down here on this. Shooting 20 shots at about 75 feet. Pretty darn nice. No ball breaks, nothing like that. And super consistent, running over the chrono. We'll go back here. Here we got Tyler Osborne, Trademygun Outlaws pro player, shooting some of these guns for us. So let's take a look. Let's just run a couple more over the chrono. .287, 292, 295. Run a string of them off there. So, you're getting some variation, 270 to 295. Brand new gun out of the box, so you got to expect you're going to have some break-in. Normally, you're going to want to shoot a couple cases of paint through it to get it broke in, but still not bad. Pretty much running right around 285 to 290. Okay, so here we are. We're going to just show you a quick comparison here. So there's your LUXE ice, and we just got done shooting that. Go ahead and put the OLED up next to that. You can see the differences. Tyler just got done shooting the ice. He's going to shoot the OLED and just give you a few comments about maybe some of the differences that he feels in the gun. But I can tell you, just holding on to it, this gun is definitely lighter. It's a little thinner profile, I think, than what we had before. But anyhow, let's get going on the LUXE OLED. The previous model, which by the way you can buy now for $9.95, an amazing price. We'll go ahead and kind of watch that bunker down there. He's going to run some shots. Running about 270, 271. All right, now he's going to run it, and I'm going to do some decibel readings here. Running about 78 to 80 decibels, so a lot of it depends on how you set the guns up, but about the same noise signature as what you're seeing on the LUXE ice, so not a huge difference in sound. Take a look at the pattern of the LUXE OLED. Nice pattern. The thing that LUXE has running against them is they have a great gun already, so trying to make something that's great better is pretty tough to do. There was your pattern of the OLED. There you've got your ice. So, you know, same difference or distance. The ice looks to be a little bit tighter, but, you know, pretty comparable probably. Go back over here and take a look. What do you think, Tyler?
Definitely the feel of the Lux I like a lot better.
The ice?
Getting rid of the ASA knob was a big one. It's just not in your way, especially if you got bigger hands.
Yeah.
This knob isn't interfering with your shot. The grips on the ice, I feel like, are a lot slimmer than the previous models, which is, again, just a nicer feel, especially for guys like me who have smaller hands. And then the ribs that they put in the foregrip up here are really nice, and it's, as you can tell, it's a little bit farther forward, angled forward, so it just kind of naturally fits how you hold the gun better.
Yeah, and that's this foregrip is interchangeable, so you could interchange that with rubber, you know, if you want, or you can stick with the aluminum. So that's kind of a neat feature also. Okay, well, let's take a look at the RSX shocker. Okay, so here we've got you know, the Lux Ice again. Hold up the RSX shocker so you can see the RSX is definitely slimmer profile. You know, retails for $800. This particular Splash limited edition 1 of 5, they retail for about $950. But you know, the RSX has an OLED board, has a freak barrel, super popular gun, especially for the price point. So you saw the ice, you saw the OLED. Now we're going to run the RSX shocker, run it over the chrono here, and just take a look at what we're getting. Go ahead and run it over there. So 278, 277, 266, 82, 69, 78. You know, I mean, typical kind of gun. You know, you get variation from ball to ball. You know, you'd like to be able to see something plus or minus 5, but realistically, you know, plus or minus 10, honestly, is probably about the best you're ever going to get. You get a gun that's really broken in and you're shooting really good paint and have it sized right, you're going to get a little better ball-to-ball variation, but pretty normal. Now we're going to go ahead and let this thing shoot. You can take a look at the pattern on the bunker down there, and I'm going to measure the decibels. So, you know, from a decibel reading standpoint, this thing is running an average of right in the high 60s to low 70s. You can tell, you can hear how quiet this gun is. It's, you know, one of the quietest guns that are out there, really easy on paint. And we'll go up here and take a look at the pattern. Very tight pattern. I'll tell you, you get into these high-end guns and, you know, people ask all the time, well, you know, what's better about it? Which one's better? Well, honestly, all these guns run on about the same technology. They're all pretty darn good. Take a look at that pattern. That was it from the RSX. A little more spread maybe, you know, but you can see the nice concentration there. Right here we've got the OLED LUXE, and then we've got the ice, which it's the right one there is really the ice. The one over on the left was some practice shots that we did. So the right tight pattern on the ice is, you know, pretty darn good. And yeah, this isn't scientific or anything. We're just giving you an idea of, you know, some differences using some of the popular guns that are on the market right now. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the CS1 next. Okay, so here we've got the CS1 and the LUXE Ice. The guns, you know, if we put them on top of each other, but close to the same profile. The CS1 is actually stretched out a little more than the LUXE Ice. It's kind of funny that that's the case, because the LUXE kind of set the standard for making a long gun, and now all of a sudden the CS1 is, you know, kind of gradually the GEOs have been pulled out. Finally, the CS1 is stretched out and it's actually longer than the LUXE. The LUXE is pulling it in, making it a little slimmer. Probably one of the only criticisms I've ever heard about the CS1 is it's a little long for some people. So that's interesting to see that LUXE is, you know, slimming theirs down a little bit. But let's go ahead and run the CS1 over the chrono and take a look at this. 284, 279, 279, 278, 274, 280, 271. Yeah, again, all about the same. 264. I mean, they all run all over the place, and that's why if you're running 300 max at a tournament, you gotta set your ball, your velocity down a little bit. But we'll go ahead and rip this at the bunker, measure the decibels. You can see the pattern. We'll go take a look at it. Let's go ahead and go. So this guy's running about identical to the ICE and the OLED in the high 70s, 77 to 80 decibels. So the only real gun out of the four that we've looked at today, really, that's significantly quieter has been the RSX. Tyler, I don't know, what do you think? How did it feel even when you shot the RSX?
It's got the same smaller profile, just like the ICE does. I would say out of the four we've shot so far, the ICE and the RSX are probably the most comparable in shot too, in size. So for the price point, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, it's funny, we're doing this really for a Lux ICE to show you what that looks like, and kind of surprised us too, I think, that the RSX is a pretty darn nice gun. But look at the pattern of the CS1. Holy cow. So there's your CS1. Super, super tight pattern. Now we're going to move over to the RSX. Not bad, but you got a few flyers that kind of go in and out of there. And then we go to the OLED. Again, pretty good pattern, but a little wider pattern. Not as tight as the CS1. And then the Lux Ice. Really super tight pattern on the ICE too. So I guess from a shot pattern standpoint, from what we're seeing using the same paint, same hopper. Of course, the guns aren't all set up exactly the same. You got some break-in that you got to do with the ICE. The CS1 is a used one that our team guys shoot. So far, the Lux ICE and the CS1 appear to have the best shot pattern that we've seen for what we're shooting right here. Let's now take a look at the M2. Yeah, okay, so here's the M2 and the Lux Ice. Take a look at these two guys, kind of run them on top of each other. Lux Ice again, a little shorter profile than the M2, so retrenching a little bit and bringing the gun a little tighter. I think actually listening to the players, saying that, yeah, we like it to be long, but maybe not that long. So that's kind of nice to see. We're going to shoot the M2 here. We've been seeing quite a bit of variation on our chrono, but we are shooting really small paint, and the inserts aren't sized right, so don't let that worry you too much. All the guns are shooting about the same, and that's a function of probably of the paint and the bore size. So we'll go ahead and run this. 282, 283, 288, 272. 282, same kind of thing. So not really anything to worry about there. Like I say, you can definitely set your gun up based on the paint you're shooting to tighten that up. But we'll go ahead and run this and check the decibels of the Dye M2. Okay, so that's running about the same as the others. RSX, again, being the quietest gun based on what we're seeing here. But that was maybe a little louder. It's a little snappier sounding gun. Maybe it was running in the 80s pretty much the whole time. So probably the loudest of all of them, which I guess that doesn't really surprise me too much. It's still not noisy, but take a look at the shot pattern here. My gosh, again, really, really tight pattern. I think a lot of that comes from the dye barrel. I think it's the best barrel ever made. But look at this. Look how tight that pattern is. So, there's your Dye M2. There's your CS1. Again, very comparable patterns. Then you've got the RSX, which has got some tight bursts there, but you can see some outliers, You got 3, 4, 5 on the right. One on the left that kind of were outliers, but for $1,000 it's $500-600 cheaper than the other guns we're looking at. Then you've got the Lux OLED, okay, a little bit of a spread, and then there's the Lux Ice where we're pounding it comparable. So again, very comparable to the CS1 and the M2. There's your Luxe Ice. There's your M2. There's your CS1. So, you know, real comparable shots. Anyhow, hope you enjoyed this. Nice little shooting of some different guns here at our indoor arena at Trademygun. Take a look at the guns again here real quick. Thanks, Tyler, for shooting these for us today. You've got your new Luxe Ice, your M2, your CS1, your RSX, and your OLED. So pretty hot guns. I don't think you'd be unhappy owning any of those, but you know, hope you enjoyed some of the shooting that we did today, and check out some of our other videos that we do on all of our used guns at trademygun.com. There's hundreds of videos out there.